So what do you want out of the next Doom game? We definitely know there's something in the works. From a very selfish point of view, I personally hope it's a Doom game rather than a Quake reboot, just because, just personal, Quake has never grabbed me really in the same way as Doom has. And the idea of there being kind of like a trilogy of Doom games adds like a nice it's a nice compact way of almost like rebooting the brand rather than just the two games. It has a bit more of a feel of a nice kind of package of games that have been put out there. I think one thing we know for sure is that it's going to be very, very different. If you look at 2016 compared to Eternal, the experience is vastly different. Almost everything changed in terms of what you can do with the Slayer, the way in which the game paces the levels, paces the combat. Very, very different. So one thing I think we can be certain of is that it is going to be a drastically different experience. One thing that Hugo did mention in a stream a while back was about the idea of the Doomslayer this time round possibly being more like a monster truck. He used that analogy in a way of describing that maybe the damage output would be something of kind of bigger reach, similar possibly to the hammer, even though I'm not a huge fan of the hammer just because it's more of a resource tool than a damage output tool. But if it was something where you could create massive amounts of damage by being a bit more of a wrecking ball rather than a very nimble, accurate kind of race car, that does sound pretty cool, and it would create the feeling of a very, very different experience. I've seen some videos in which people have been saying that the Meathook should not be in the next Doom game. I really, really disagree with that statement. And the reason I do is because I feel, and Hugo said this as well, that the Meathook really, its potential has only been very, very slightly hinted at, to be honest, and that's only really been in the DLC content. There's nothing really in the base game that hints or encourages you to really utilize it to its full potential. It's only in the DLC with some of the traversals that I think it opens up the idea to new players that you can use the Meathook in different ways to be able to go about the combat and to traverse across space. So from my point of view, I don't think everyone has purchased the DLCs. A lot of friends of mine who have purchased Doom Eternal have only purchased the base game, and they're using the Meathook in a very, very traditional, basic way. I only found out ways in which to maximize its usage by watching YouTube videos because I'm a huge fan of the game and I was really into it. Not everyone is like that. I think the base experience of the average casual Doom player, I think you will find that they have not been utilizing the Meathook to its full capacity. And as Hugo said, it's really in the DLC where they've started kind of looking at what it could do. I just think there's a huge amount of unexplored ground, unexplored potential still to come from either that weapon or that mechanic. So it might not be the Meathook, but it could be the mechanic of allowing you to go through space in certain ways. I think there's still a huge amount to be discovered there and to be maximized. And I think to simply say that it shouldn't be in the game because it's kind of repeating something that's already been in Doom Eternal means that you're not only taking away the potential of something amazing, but you're also assuming that everyone has already maximized it as much as possible in the current game, which I think is absolutely not the case. So for me, it's not so much about being scared to bring something back, it's about taking it to the next level. So for me, it's not so much, I love the Meathook, but I would be happy for it to be different. Maybe the mechanic to be there, but maybe it's a different weapon, maybe it's done in a different way. But I think the idea of throwing yourself through the air and being able to traverse space in different ways is a really, really appealing one, and I think Doom Eternal has done an exceptional job in allowing us to do that as a player. So there's some rumours as well about maybe the next game being a bit of a slower experience. If you're more of a wrecking ball, more of a monster truck, then you're maybe a bit more slower on the ground. So if they do still keep the Meathook mechanic, it'll be interesting to see how they combine it with that. From my point of view, I would love a game that maybe is a bit darker, maybe plays on a lot of different lighting in different environments. They were very clear that Doom 2016 was a very Doom 3 kind of influenced game. Doom Eternal more of the original Dooms. So maybe if they create a third Doom, maybe it will have a bit of a Doom 64 feel. And I would be completely down with that. I think it's a fantastic game, and it has some really interesting environmental puzzles, which could be cool to see in a new game. But as I said, I think one thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting, it's going to be new, it's going to teach us new things, which I think is crucial. We don't want to copy and paste. I definitely don't want to copy and paste. But at the same time, I don't think there should be any fear to take things from Doom Eternal that have worked well, but maybe haven't been explored fully, and take them to the next level in the next game, rather than just simply saying everything needs to be binned and everything's got to be new just for the sake of it. I don't think that makes sense. So, yeah, I just hope it'll be... Well, I know it'll be a great experience. I think id have demonstrated that when it comes to games in general, but especially the Doom reboot now, they've just gone from strength to strength. Doom 2016 blew me away. Doom Eternal took me a while to get used to. When it did and it clicked, it's undoubtedly the best first-person shooter I've ever played. I can't find anything that compares to it at all, anywhere, in any shape or form. So I've got no doubt that the next one, the next entry in the series, is going to be incredible as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on what I would like to see in the next Doom game, and what I'd like maybe id to go towards. But at the end of the day, I really do trust them. I don't think they'll let us down at all, and I think it's definitely going to be interesting. It's a great time as a Doom fan to be alive, that's for sure. Let me know what you'd like to see in the new game, and if you agree or disagree with what I've mentioned. Catch you all very soon. Bye.